Well, yeah, I remember when I interviewed Tretch about the whole situation, and he said, yeah, certain rappers, Biggie and Tupac had issues with each other and stuff like that, but it wasn't really turned into an East Coast West Coast thing until that Vibe cover came out.
Yeah, that was kind of more media driven as well.
Right.
Like they're
Right. And
trying
on
to
the
make
cover, it had Biggie and Puffy and it said East versus West.
right.
And then suddenly it was coined a term and everyone started to kind of jump in based on their geographic, locations.
Right.
When you see Big and Puff on the cover, East versus West. When I saw that fucking cover, I said, man, what the fuck is going on? Gangsters don't read articles. Niggas on the East Coast like, yo, it's on. Wait till them West Coast niggas come out here. West Coast like, oh, it's on. Wait till them East Coast niggas come out here. So it baited up a whole shit that fucking went down that had just so many cycles of all Biggie followers and riders, all Pac riders, motherfuckers that they didn't even know neither one of them, gangster ass motherfuckers. It could have really turned into a motherfucking East Coast, West Coast war.
Yeah, and ultimately that ended horribly with Tupac and Biggie getting killed.
Yeah, but see, and see, and that's the problem with what a lot what goes on in hip hop is like and this is even all this media with all this media driven thing. Don't say nothing about nobody, first of all, that you wouldn't say to their face. And if you do got a beef, just settle it. As men, though, not like, oh yeah, when I see you, because when it gets down to that part, at the end of the day, anybody that rap, they're not really that tough. You can't convince me. You can't convince me that the average rapper can go fight an MMA guy and be successful. You see what I'm saying? The average person don't got a round in them. The average rapper got less than that. I'm probably one of the most fit rappers ever. I never had a round in me. Never. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
But they see what it is. See, this is what hip hop is. At some point, it became guys MCing. But then they want to be like those guys in the street. And those guys in the street, they would never MC back then. A street guy would never MC because that's beneath him. He's too busy doing his thing on the street. But that's what rap became more and more into after, like Run DMC was the first rappers to actually come across like street guys. Everybody other than that, they had an image. We was trying to be entertainment, and they had an image. So when running them made their image a street guy, that took for me, and I love Run DMC, one of my favorite people ever. You know what I'm saying? Good dude. But when they did that, that's when I knew it was the beginning of the end, because you can't, like, everybody in life got their place. You can't let street guys make them kind of decisions with music because they street guys. It ain't like they entertainment guys. It ain't like they musical guys. It ain't like they, know anything about notes. It ain't like they know anything about image. You know what I mean? Or how to do good interviews. They don't know nothing about that. They just street guys. And when anything street guys do is going to fall under. It's just going to go back to some street shit, which is not, after a while, is not entertainment no more. It's street shit. That's all it is,
Right, but you talk about how most people don't have a round in them in an MMA fight. I think the big difference when you talk about rappers and popular rappers at that is that 99% of them have bodyguards, have entourages, have street guys that are sort of around them. They know they're not going to have to physically fight anyone themselves. There's 5-10 people that are ahead of them that will handle that type of dirt for them. So they're open to saying whatever, knowing that they don't have to get their hands dirty themselves. And that's always been the case.
Well, not always. I never had a bodyguard.
Well, okay, not always, but right. Most of the time when you look at hip hop history.
Well, at a certain point, See,
Yeah.
like I said, when it came down to guys having the image of a street guy, that's when it started morphing into that. You know what I mean? It's like in the beginning, as you would know, we was just making records about making records. It got from where we did the message to Public Enemy. Now you got all of these conscious groups and X-Clan and Poor Righteous Teacher. Right after that, NWA comes out.
Yep.
And then that went into a further decline because now you got, and like I said, I have no problem with Cube and them. I love Cube, I love Dre, but 10 years of that, I mean, because like I said, that's going back to, and I'm gonna stand on this and I'll never back off. You don't get street guys to do entertainment shit. You get entertainers to do entertainment shit. And at the end of the day, what you get is a bunch of street shit. Now, anybody could be anything they want to be. That ain't even my argument. That ain't my thing. But at the end of the day, if what you doing ain't working out, if what somebody else did ain't working out for them, if you do the same thing, it's not going to work out for you. And that's what we have in hip hop. They went so far, and that's even in society. People take street shit too seriously. Most street guys wind up going to jail. The only street guys that don't go to jail is the ones that didn't go to jail yet. Because that's what it is. It's just so what you have right now is a society that's based on all illegal shit. The legal guy, it don't mean nothing. The hardworking guy, fuck him. He's a fucking clown. But the street guy is the important guy. The guy that's going to wind up going to jail is the important guy. And see, these rappers, they imitate street guys, but they boast the image of a street guy. And no matter how you look at it, a street guy, as long as he stay on the street, is always going to fail. Always. Even at $2 over lunch money and you got to leave the street. But the way they got it, everybody looking at it is like you can stay in the street and you can't stay there. Because these are all guys that's trying to come up. You can't be up and then stand there. Because now you're standing out. Either the cops is going to watch you or some of them dudes is going to get you. But they got, but even society, music is always a mirror image of what society is. It's always gonna parallel. So you can't have these guys thinking that they can come up and stay there, because that's where it gets messy. You only in the streets, you're only supposed to get as far up as when you made it, and then you have to go. So then somebody else can make it and go. But everybody, oh yeah, he a street dude, and there's nothing important about being a street dude, because the street dude is going to stay on the street. It is by its definition, it's a losing battle. So now you got a guy that got $50 million, and you trying to act like a street guy. And you're going to put dudes around you and go around and still try to act like a street guy? It's not going to work. You got a running beef with everybody, because that's what street guys do. You're on the corner, you got a beef with the guys and it always was like that. You had some kind of beef with the guy that's right up the block. But what we did, if we had a beef, we went on stage and handled our beef. But they ain't doing that no more. So it's like, what are you teaching a little young kid? Now, I'm from the hood like anybody else. I ain't never shot nobody or stabbed nobody, because I never had to. You know what I mean? It's like, I did whatever little dirt that I could do until I realized that wasn't going to work out good. And then we started doing music. So I'm 15, 16, 17, I'm good. We made a few dollars. But what is that teaching these little dudes, that it's all right to kill somebody? And you get up every day, you look at the news, it's some 14, 15, 13-year-old killing somebody. And then, and see, and I'm not gonna say I'm mad at the street. I'm disappointed in the street guys because anybody as a person should know better. Who I'm mad at is these overeducated motherfuckers that keep trying to psychoanalyze these motherfuckers instead of you. Like, listen, let's calm this shit down. When did that meeting ever happen? Where these overeducated motherfuckers that could pinpoint, every problem that was going on and describe the problem so eloquently. When did these motherfuckers sit down and say, let's try to calm this shit down?